Daf Yomi, Tractate, Bava Batra, page 147, A, top of the page, with the words Domesh Yehoshua ben. Previously, I thought that I had a son. Now that I have been informed that I do not have a son, my property shall be given to so-and-so. Or, if he was ill and bedridden. Okay, so let's see here. We're obviously in the middle of an idea. So, page 146 at the bottom said, okay, last line will give us some context. The Gemara asks, who is the Tana who taught that which the sages taught in Tosefta Ketubot 4:15? If one was ill and bedridden, and whose present said to him, to whom shall your property be given? And to those present said to him, to whom shall your property be given? He said to them, okay, Domesh Yehoshua ben, Achshav she'en li ben nechsai leploni. Haya chole mutal b'mita amru lo nechsai l'mi amru lahem Domesh ishti mi'uberes. Achshav she'en ishti mi'uberes nechsai leploni. Notice yesh lo ben o shehaisa ishto mi'uberes o matana so matana. Ein matana so matana. Previously, I thought I had a son. Now that I've been informed that I did not have a son, my property shall be given to so-and-so. Or, if he was ill and bedridden, and those present said to him, to whom shall his property be given? He said to them, previously, I thought that my wife was pregnant. Now that I have been informed that my wife is not pregnant, my property shall be given to so-and-so. And, if it then became known in either of those cases that he had a son or that his wife was pregnant, his gift is not a valid gift, since he clearly indicated that he bestowed the gift on the recipient only because he thought he had no heir. The Gemara asks, shall we say that this is the opinion of Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe and not the opinion of the rabbis? The Gemara rejects this. You can even say that this is the opinion of the rabbis, as the case where he said, I thought that I had a son is different, since he stated the reason for his actions. Since the difference between the cases is obvious, the Gemara asks, who asked it, and why did he ask it? The Gemara replies, lest you say that when the bedridden man mentioned that he does not have a son, he is mentioning it only as an expression of his sorrow, since the matter of the disposal of his estate brings it to mind, but he is not mentioning this as the reason for the gift. The Batra therefore teaches us that the reference to his son indicates that he had known that he had a son. Had he known that he had a son, he would not have given his property to others. Amar Rabbi Zeira, Amar Rav, minayin lematnas shchimera shehi min haTorah, shenemar vehavartim es nachlasoi levitoi, yesh lecha vorach eres. Whoa. Excuse me for a second. That was weird. Felt like a spider just came down there. Wow. Wonder if that was a sign. It's a sign! See here. Amar Rabbi Zeira. One I was reading. Okay. Unlike gifts of a healthy person, the gifts of a person on his deathbed do not require a formal act of acquisition. Rabbi Zeira says, that Rav says, from where is it derived that this halacha with regard to the gift of a person on his deathbed is by Torah law, as it is stated in the passage delineating the laws of inheritance. If a man dies and he does not have a son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. Numbers 27, verse 8. When did that spider come? Right when I said this pasuk here. Ve'hevartim es nachlaso lebito. He shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. (2056). יש לך הבאה אחרת שהיא כזו ואין זו מתנה שמירה. Unlike gifts of a healthy person, the gifts of a person on his deathbed do not require a formal act of acquisition. Whereas there it says that Rav says, from where is it derived that this halacha with regard to the gift of a person on his deathbed is by Torah law, as it is stated in the passage delineating the laws of inheritance. If a man dies and does not have a son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughters. Numbers 27, verse 8. The term "you shall cause to pass" is superfluous, as the verse could have stated, his inheritance shall go to his daughter. One can therefore derive from this term that you have another case of causing property to pass to another, which is comparable to this case of inheritance, which does not require an act of acquisition. What is this case? This is the case of a gift of a person on his deathbed. Reb Nachman Amar Rabba Baravu Mehocha ונתתם את נחלתו לך ויש לך נתינה אחרת שהוא כזו ואין כזו זו מתנה שחיברה. Rav Nachman says that Rabba Bar Avu says the halacha with regard to the gift of a person on his deathbed is derived from here. And if he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. Numbers 27, verse 9. The verse could have stated, his inheritance shall go to his brothers, as inheritance is transferred by itself without any intervention. One can therefore derive from the term you shall give that you have another case of giving that is comparable to this case. And what is this case? This is the case of the gift of a person on his deathbed. Rav Nachman. Wow, this is a big daf. Oh, but the next one's pretty small, so that's cool. Rav Nachman. Okay. Rav Nachman, my time. Lo amar mehevaltem. Ahumi boy lektit Rabbi. Detanya Rabbi Omer b'chulan nemra bahen nesina. V'cha nemra he'avara. Ein lecha shema avir nachra mishevet l'shevet el abat. Hoyidu b'navala yorshilaiso. The Gemara asks, and with regard to Rav Nachman, what is the reason that he did not say that this halacha can be derived from the term "you shall cause to pass"? The Gemara answers, he requires that verse for that which is taught by Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, as it is taught in a Braita. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi says, with regard to all of the heirs, the term "giving" was stated in the Torah, and here, with regard to the daughter, the term "causing to pass" was stated. One can derive from this that there is no heir who can cause one's inheritance to pass from one tribe to another tribe, except for the daughter, since her son and her husband inherit from her, and they may be a different tribe. Rabbi Zero, my time lo amar me unusatim ocha dikrahu. The Gemara asks, and with regards to Rabbi Zera, what is the reason that he did not say that this halacha can be derived from the term "then you shall give"? The Gemara answers, Rabbi Zera maintains that this usage is the usual manner of the verse, and one cannot derive anything from this term. Rav Menasya bar Yeria amar lehocho v'yomim lahem chala Chizkiyahu lamut v'yavo elav Yeshayahu ben Amoz hanavi v'yomer elav כה אמר השם צב לביתך כי מת אתה ולא תחיה בצוואה בעלמא. Rav Menasya not Menashe, but Menashiya bar Yirmiyah states the halacha with regard to the gift of a person on his deathbed is derived from here. In those days, Chizkiah became deathly ill, and Isaiah ben Amoz the prophet came to him, and he said to him, "So says the Lord, instruct your household, for you will die, and you will not live." 2 Kings 20 verse 1. This indicates that merely by issuing an instruction, a person on his deathbed can transfer ownership of property. Rami bar Yechezkel amar lehocho v'Achitofel ro'o ki lo ne'esata asasoi v'yachvosh es chamo v'yelech el beiso ilo v'yitzav es beiso v'yichanak b'tzavo v'almo. Rami bar Yechezkel says the halacha with regard to the gift of a person on his deathbed is derived from here. And when Achitophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his donkey, and he arose, and he went to his home, to his city, and he instructed his household, and strangled himself. 2 Samuel 17:23. This indicates that merely by issuing an instruction, a person on his deathbed can transfer ownership of his property. Well, it's arguable whether or not Achitophel was on his actual deathbed. I mean, he strangled himself, so was that really on his deathbed? I mean, had he not strangled himself, he could have lived for many other years. So it's hard to say that this is considered deathbed. Maybe deathbed just means death is imminent. Anyway, Tanu Rabbanon Shlosh Dovot and Tziva Achitophel es Bonov Al Tziu b'machloikes ואל תמרדו במלכוס בייס דוד ביום טוב של עצרס ברור זירו חיתים מר זוטרא אומר בדול יתמר אם רינלדו משמי רב יעקב לא ברור ממש ולא בולול ממש אלא אפילו בולול ורוח צפויניס מן השבתוי זהו ברור. The sages taught before his death, when he saw that Absalom's rebellion against King David had failed, Achitophel instructed his sons, with regard to 3 matters: do not be participants in a dispute, and do not rebel against the kingship of the house of David. And if the festival of Shavuot is a clear day, sow wheat, as it is a sign that the wheat crop will thrive. Marazutra said it was stated that the wheat crop will thrive if Shavuot is a cloudy day, not if it is a clear day. The sages of Nardah say, in the name of Rabbi Yaakov, according to both opinions, a clear day does not literally mean a clear day, nor does a cloudy day literally mean a cloudy day. Rather, even if the day is cloudy, but a north wind is blowing the clouds away, it is considered a clear day. Thanks for nothing. No, I mean, that's very not clear. No, sorry, take that back. That's a little disrespectful. I mean, whatever, it's just ambiguous. Okay. Amar le Rabbi Abba Lavashi. I doubt anyone listened this far. I don't think anyone listened this far. If you do, please smash that like button. Amar le Rabbi Abba Rabbi Ashi Anan ad Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Avdimi Ma'asnin Leidam Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Avdimi Moitzo Yom Tov Achron Shel Chag Hakol Tzoifin La'ashon Ha'ma'arocho Noto Kalape Tzafoin En Aniyim Smechim Ubalei Bitim Atzevin B'nei Shekishmei Shona Merubin Upeirois Margivin. Rabbi Abba said to Rav Ashi, we teach this matter of science concerning crops with regard to the statement of Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi, and Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi says at the conclusion of the final day of the festival of Sukkot, everyone looked upon the smoke rising from the arrangement of the wood on the altar. If the smoke inclined toward the north, due to a south wind, the poor were glad, and the homeowners were sad, because this was a sign that the year's rainfall would be plentiful, and although the rain would produce an abundant crop, the produce would decay due to the humidity. The humidity would make it difficult to store the abundant harvest, forcing the homeowners to sell the produce quickly at a lower price. Okay. Nota klape daroim aniyim asevim ubali batim smechin mipnei shegishmei shana muatin upeirois mishtamerin nota klape mizrach hakol smechin klape marav hakol atzevim. If the smoke inclined toward the south due to a north wind, the poor were sad, and the homeowners were glad, because this indicated that the year's rainfall would be sparse, and the produce would be meager, and it would store well. And if the smoke inclined toward the east due to a west wind, everyone was glad, because this indicated that there would be sufficient rainfall to ensure an entire crop, and at the same time the produce would store well. If the smoke inclined towards the west due to an east wind, everyone was sad, because the east wind does not bring rain, and this indicated that there would be a drought. Ve'urminu mizrachis lo'olim yofe, maravis lo'olim kashe, ו"צפויניס יפלחיתם משעה שהביאו שליש וקוש לזייסים משעה שיענצו ורוח דרוימיס קוש לחיתם משעה שהביאו שליש ויפל לזייסים משעה שיענצו. The Gemara raises a contradiction from a Batra. An east wind is always beneficial, and a west wind is always harmful. A north wind is beneficial to the wheat when it has reached 1/3 of its growth, and harmful to the olives when they are blossoming. And a south wind is harmful to the wheat when it has reached 1/3 of its growth, and beneficial to the olives when they are blossoming. Ve'amar Rav Yosef, v'yitem amar zutro, v'yitem Rav Menachem bar Yitzchak, v'simonach shulchan b'tzafoin, u'menoyer b'daroim, hai and Rav Yosef says, some say it is Mar Zutra who says this, and some say it is Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak who says this. The following is your mnemonic to remember which wind is beneficial to which crop. The table is in the north of the sanctuary, and the candelabrum is in the south. This one increases its own, and that one increases its own. The table upon which the showbread is made from wheat is placed in the north, and the north wind is beneficial to wheat. The candelabrum, which is lit with olive oil, is in the south, and the south wind is beneficial to olives. In any event, the Batra contradicts the statement of Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi with regard to the effect of the western and eastern winds. Lo kashya, halan malahu. The Gemara answers, this is not difficult. The east wind is for us in Babylonia, and that the west wind is for them in Eretz Israel. In Babylonia, the east wind is beneficial because water is plentiful there, and the dry east wind does not harm the crops. In Eretz Israel, the east wind is harmful because water is scarce, and the east wind ruins the crops, whereas the west wind brings the necessary rain. Tanya, Abba Shal Omer, Yom Tov Shal Tzeres Bavu Simin Yafi Lechol Shana Kula. Amr Zvid Hayom Kama Doresh Shata Chamim Kula Shata Chamima Ikrir Kula Shata Karira Lamayna Kamina. It is taught in Brisa. Abba Shaul says the festival of Shavuot is a clear day. This is a good sign for the entire year. Rav Zvid said with regard to the first day of Rosh Hashanah, if it is warm, the entire year will be warm. But if it is cold, the entire year will be cold. The Gemara asks, what is the difference? What difference is there whether one knows one knows this or not?